Hey there! Today we're going to pull back the curtain on the surprising and often hidden science behind one of the most fundamental parts of being human, how our bodies and our minds are wired for sex.
So you probably feel like you've got a pretty good handle on the basics, right? Well, today we're going to put that to the test. Because what science has uncovered is an architecture that's way more complex, more fascinating, and honestly, sometimes just plain strange than what most of us ever learned in school.
Okay, so let's dive right into our first big idea. When it comes to sexuality, the most important stuff isn't happening where you might think. That's right, the single most powerful sex organ you have is the one between your ears. Before any physical touch even enters the picture, arousal kicks off with thoughts, emotions, and memories. Your brain is the command center that gets the whole show started. And get this, brain scans taken during an orgasm show something absolutely incredible. It's not just one little pleasure center flashing, it's a full-on symphony. The parts of your brain that handle emotion, memory, reward, and even pain control all light up at once. It's a total brain party, one of the very few experiences that engages nearly your entire brain at the same time. Okay, so from the command center up top, let's zoom in on the body itself and take a look at its intricate and, frankly, amazing mechanics. Take a good look at that number, 8,000. What in the world could that possibly represent? That is the number of nerve endings packed into just the external part of the clitoris. To put that in perspective, that's double what you'd find in the penis, making it the most sensitive organ in the body. And here's the real kicker. That's literally just the tip of the iceberg. Most of its structure is actually internal, wrapping around like a wish. And when we look at how long orgasms last, the differences are pretty striking. On average, a male orgasm lasts about 6 seconds. A female orgasm, on the other hand, can last around 20 seconds, or sometimes even longer. That's a pretty significant biological difference. The whole process of reproduction is a story of extremes. On one side, you have the human egg, which is the single largest cell in the human body. And on the other side, the sperm, one of the absolute smallest. It's a classic David and Goliath story, just on a microscopic scale. And don't let their small size fool you. Sperm are incredible survivors. Once inside the female reproductive tract, they can stay viable for 5 to 8 days, just waiting for an opportunity. This means the window for conception is way, way wider than just the day of intercourse. The body also has these amazing ways of adapting. There's a process called vaginal tenting, where the vagina can actually expand, nearly doubling in length during arousal. It's a remarkable built-in system designed for comfort and safety. But this whole thing is about more than just mechanics and pleasure. There are some very real, scientifically backed health benefits that come along for the ride. An orgasm triggers a powerful chemical cocktail in your body. It releases floods of endorphins and oxytocin, which basically act as your body's own natural painkillers. Studies have shown this can genuinely help relieve everything from headaches and cramps to even chronic pain. And this isn't just a feeling, it's a physiological fact. Research shows that people who had sex before a stressful event, like public speaking for example, had lower blood pressure and lower levels of the stress hormone cortisol. It actively helps your body manage stress. And for men, there's a really important long-term benefit. Large-scale studies have found a clear link between a higher frequency of ejaculation throughout life and a reduced risk of developing prostate cancer later on. All right, now for the part of our explainer where things get a little weird. Let's look at some of the most unexpected factors that can influence desire and orgasm. So what do you think it is? A secret food? Some special breathing technique? I'm willing to bet the answer is probably not what you're expecting. Take a look at this. A potential 30% increase. An increase in what exactly? Yes, you read that correctly. Socks. One study found that because having cold feet can be a distraction, simply warming them up improved blood circulation and made participants 30% more likely to achieve orgasm. Simple, but surprisingly effective. And it's so important to bust the myth that sexuality just has an expiration date. The research is clear. Desire evolves, but it doesn't just disappear. About a third of women in their 80s report being sexually active, which challenges everything we assume about aging and intimacy. So let's zoom out. After exploring the brain, the body, and all these surprising facts, what does it all really say about us as a species? This might be the most profound difference of all. For most of the animal kingdom, sex is purely functional. It's for reproduction, and it only happens when conception is possible. But humans, we are a rare exception. We evolved to have sex for pleasure, for bonding, and for connection all year round. And that leaves us with a final thought. We've really just scratched the surface of this hidden architecture. And if something so fundamental to our existence holds this many surprises, it really makes you wonder, what other profound truths about being human are still waiting to be discovered? Thanks for tuning in.